Yes.
Okay. So this is just for this month, and that's the reactive after the account got back live. These are the results that have been happening um, this month only so far.
Okay. And the cost per purchase is
Oh, yep. Cost per purchase is on the right side here, 87.
gotcha. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and request access here.
Yes.
All right, let's see what's going on. So cost per purchase on this one's 19, but that only has two, and that's hot traffic.
Yep. And
This
just so
one's at
you know,
171 per purchase, right?
yeah, I just put that hot traffic one out very recently. If you can remember, we discussed it. I didn't want to bring them right to the car page. So basically, I brought them to the video page, but it did it like a very hot type of ad to them. So
Okay, got it. And where were they originally going? Were they always going to the, whenever you were getting the 30 cost per purchase on average, or the 20,
yep.
where were they going? Nothing changed since then, is,
Yep.
or
Nothing's changed. Landing page, video page, cart page. I haven't changed anything on that.
nothing?
Yep.
Okay. And it was that yogurt ice cream one that was getting the purchases?
The ice cream one, yes. And then I did another ad variation. It's a one with a sunrise, and that did actually even better than the ice cream one initially.
Okay.
So I have both of those pretty much in every ad set. Those two that were proven at multiple times in different ad sets.
Gotcha. And if you can remind me, what time frame was that whenever you're getting those low cost per purchase?
That's a good question. I believe it was just our last call. It must have been in May, I believe. Um, First week in May, I think it was May 1st through the 10th, somewhere around there. Maybe.
Right about here.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see what we did here. I'd like to know what the situation was at that time so that way we can know what's going on now.
Yeah.
Because if it was frozen in time from this point forward, then we can start rolling out specific things.
Okay.
It doesn't look like it'll let us rank it by purchases in this case.
If you change the sorting um, to the primary metrics, then you can do the cost per purchase. For whatever reason, the other one wouldn't, but you should be able to rank it, I believe.
These are retargeting. That was for, okay, yep, I remember that. And then for this, 1454. So, okay, that's just two. That one looked like it got turned off. And then
And
so a lot of these audiences were working at some point, but it looks like they stopped working.
yeah. So that's why some of those were off recently, just because I mean it was like $180 cost per person, something very, very large. So it just kind of stopped.
Okay, and it looks like the ones that were getting all the purchases during this time were the ice cream.
Yes. And at the time, I didn't have that sunrise one. I had two video ad variations. That's the one with the guy with his hands raised there.
Uh-huh.
The universe is truly so good wasn't there yet. So that was my recent new ad variation.
Okay. All right, let's go back to this month. So this one here. These are all about 70 up, 70 plus. And they're all on this one now.
Yes.
Let's just go ahead and preview these three.
Okay.
So this first one has 5 comments. This next ad has no comments. And this third ad has 2 comments. See the problem here?
Mm.
Not stacking the social proof.
Oh, okay. Yes.
You know how your groups are flooded with social proof? Hundreds of comments,
Yes.
hundreds of likes. You had like one of the
Yes.
most engaging groups I've seen.
Yep.
On every post, it was just super loaded. But it doesn't translate here, right?
Yeah, I see that now.
The
Yep.
one thing that could be making your group so exciting and popular is from how interactive it is, but your ads don't have the same community.
Mm.
Even though they do, they're just being split across multiple ads. So it's, imagine if we added up all this. Just from these 3 ads alone, that's 7 comments plus, I mean, you'd be over 20 likes in this, right?
Right.
It could
Yes.
be a factor that plays into your results. If we go back to that time period again, it was May. I think we did the 8th to the 14th. Oops. So these were the top ads.
Yep.
Let's see what those were doing. So were these ever stacked?
I mean, I do duplicate them, but maybe I'm just not doing it in the right manner
So
there.
the first one's 17 shares, 17 comments. Second one's 17 shares, 17 comments. Third one isn't, but 2 of these have at least been stacked. Let's just look at a few more. So we do know that some of these are stacked. Okay. Okay, 3
Oh, yeah.
stacked, 4 stacked, 5 stacked, 5 stacked.
Wow.
Just right off the bat, I mean, it's pretty, the ones that are all positive in ROAS are the ones that are all stacked.
Yeah, I see that now.
These other ones that you have now, they're not. They're not stacking. Even this one has 16 and 2 shares.
Yeah.
So the quick solve for this is it could be, you know, I wouldn't want to say that we instantly found the problem like that quickly, which it could be. I mean, that's the first thing that went to my mind the moment that we were looking at the social proof here. Whenever the ad switched, I was wondering, what was the switch for? Were the results better? Doesn't look like the results are better. So what changed on the ad itself? I was looking at the ad. I saw that it had like 2 or 3 likes. I was like, well, that's strange. It's been running for like a month. It has 1,800 spin. Why 2, 3 likes? Well, none of them are stacked.
Yeah.
And so that could be with your business. Social proof plays a big part in it. And if it does in your group, it really should hold true for your ads as well.
Okay. Yeah.
So this could be, a couple hundred, 50 comments of people saying, oh, I love this so much, all these different things. So the best way to stack them, just to look at doing that, we're going to want to stack the one that already has the highest engagement to start from there. So we just switch to this engagement column. And it looks like this one has the most, 24 post reactions, 12 post saves. Just to be positive, we can go over and look at 23. I mean, that's probably the highest on this one. These others have post shares. So, I mean, like, you could do this one if you wanted to. I'd say the other one would be best. So let's just say this one. You then go to Facebook post with comments. And it looks like this is a dynamic ad for some reason. We can test it anyways. Are you on a Mac or a Microsoft?
Microsoft.
So we'd copy this. Let's just see here real quick. And then we just use the existing post. Looks like it automatically did it for us. Let's just confirm that the social proof shows up here. So see how it does that? It's tracking this as a dynamic for some reason. I don't know why it did that for whatever reason. Let's just see if this works. So see, it can't be used because this is considered a dynamic ad. And I noticed that because the moment I saw it is whenever they have this right here, this little piece right here that follows after the actual post,
Mhm.
it means that there's something unique about it that's showing something different to other people than it actually is. I'm
Okay.
trying one more thing here. Just copy this. Oh, we got to remove that question mark, but see if this works. So that works. But the thing is, it takes you to this dynamic look. It doesn't even have anything,
Right.
which is an issue because it means that you're not going to have a, which explains why you can't stack your social proof. Dynamic ads have that issue. It's a problem.
Okay.
Do you know if this was a dynamic ad when you set it up?
I'm actually unaware of even what a dynamic ad is. What
So
was it? Yeah.
dynamic ads are whenever you have multiple headlines underneath one single ad. So for instance,
Oh,
you could have multiple headlines in one ad rather than splitting the ads out. What you do is you just simply, let's see here. It doesn't give you the option, but for most people, say like add another headline here. You just click add headline, and it'll populate a second box, and you type in your second headline. Then you populate your third. And all your headlines, all your different descriptions would be under one ad. It makes it dynamic, and Facebook chooses which one to show.
got it.
Sounds good in theory, but paid social proof wise has a huge drawback. And we can see that here because let's say social proof is, which it looks to be, the issue that caused the drop off. You see how big of an impact that has. I mean, it doubles the cost.
Yep.
It's sickening. So dynamic is one of those, pain points, which usually are only best done in retargeting. So in this case, to fix this, you're going to have to launch essentially an all new ad and then use that from the get go and paste all the IDs in these other ones.
Okay, got it. Yeah, originally, I did click it, but as you could see, there's the optional headlines. I didn't add anything in there because there's no extra space for it. So,
It's
yeah.
also possible that if you posted on your profile and then selected that as the ad to run, that could also turn into a dynamic ad.
Okay. I did do that by scratch. So when I went into the ad set, I had my ad set ready, like a lookalike or whatever it was. And then I did create my own ad from scratch. So I didn't use an existing post or one from the page.
Okay, got it. Yeah, so you'll have to create the ad in here, and then you'll have to put the IDs in all these other ads.
Okay.
And then I know, so the other thing is this is a different ad than the ice cream one, right?
Yep.
And I say ice cream, it's just the easiest way to identify that ad.
Yeah. Yep.
Uh, what happened with that ad? Did it drop off at some point or?
Yeah, that was when I guess the ad account kind of like got all declined, and I had to open that back up and appeal the process. So after that whole thing happens, like there has been very very low engagement on the ice cream one.
Okay,
Like just not a lot of conversions.
right. Is this a retargeting?
Yeah, that's the hot retargeting. So that's only showing to the hot audience there.
Okay. So what I'm doing here is I'm in creative reporting. It stacks all the ads that you have.
Okay, yeah.
And it looks like we're missing one of the other ones. Are we missing one?
Yeah, there should be that sunrise one, that like the newest one that's been working best.
Where is that one exactly?
It sees that
Oh,
blue button
see,
there.
so since it's dynamic, my apologies, it's not going to show in the creative reporting. That's another drawback.
Okay.
So it allows for less metrics to be pulled. Since it's more something Facebook does internally, they don't really show you what's going on. So that way you can't make sense of the process in most cases. So that's another issue, because now we have to go split it out in 2 separate tabs just to really understand what's going on.
Right.
If we can select, if you mind copying this, pasting it in a separate
Yep.
tab. What we're going to do is we're just going to compare these two creatives, and we'll just go to ads here on the second tab. And these should be titled correctly, right?
Yes.
For the ads. So we'll just do ad name contains. So that should have stacked all these. So now we have those metrics here. Spent about $2,500, $83. If we go to this one for this month, this one's 109, this one's 124, this one's 14. So this one's about double. Let's go and look at this. So 109 for these. Let's do last 7 days for these. Then let's do, I'm starting to notice like these 4 right here, these costs aren't that bad at all.
Yeah, those are actually pretty decent. One of them might be the warm retargeting.
Okay. Let's take this set here. That's at 46. And it probably is these two in the warm retargeting. I wouldn't doubt it. And then we'll go ahead and look at these. So you're at 83 here. And then if we just take the top 3 here, are these also warm? We got a bunch of purchases down there. Yeah, these are all pretty much in the 60s. Then we got some in 26.
Yeah.
And the rest of these are none. 51. And then let's go ahead and do just last 7 days to see what's going on. Holds up. $28, okay. So this one's at 46, but we only have 4 here. 7 days, 50. Okay, so things are a little sporadic on these numbers.
Yeah.
The first solution is, one, you got to stack these ads on social proof. That's one answer, right?
Yes.
Then let's just go ahead and look at last month. When were these running? Were these active last month? Only this month these have been active.
Yes. Yep.
It's been at about 100. You got to cut the ones that, and then we're going to have to cut the ones down here that just aren't working in some audiences. So like, for instance, this one is not working in, okay, so you've done that, you cut that. Let's just filter by active. So you got it down to 87 already. I would, what is this at? I'd cut to 64. Anything that's going above 50, start cutting it.
Okay.
70. So let's just do a quick example here. Let's just do 42. That leaves you with 1. If we do 14 days, what happens? Leaves you with 2. The thing is, I think this algorithm's having a hard time on deciding which ad you're going to go at, which ad it wants to put the dollar amount towards.
Okay.
And we're not pulling any consistencies from this because of the social proof not being stacked here. That's the issue.
Right.
So it's messing with the data because, like, for instance, we have, like, if these were all exactly the same, which they are, it's just that the social proof is different on each one of them. So technically it makes it its own unique ad in every case, right?
Yep.
It's a factor because it's not an apples to apples comparison anymore. You know, one person comments saying this is the best thing I've ever bought. Another person comments on another ad saying it's the worst thing they ever bought. It totally affects the results in some way, shape, or form, right?
Yes.
So therefore, that's where you'll get like a 69 and you'll get like a 46. It's not an apples to apples anymore because now you have 2 different sets of data with 2 different scenarios, one happy person, one upset person, or one with social and no social proof, which therefore makes this all individual, and we should only track these by individual sake and look at it on a per audience basis and have the cross reference and match everything, which is super complicated, as you can see.
Right. Yes.
So the only good set of data we have is the ones that have these ice cream scoops from what we were looking at earlier with these IDs, because most of these are stacked, if not all of them. And so that's a good set of data we can look at. Then it makes sense to compare this set of creative to the other one and say, okay, what's the issue then? So the only way we can get to that point is if you get these all the same with the same social proof, get them out of dynamic. That's the first way to do it.
Okay.
Then we got to move to deciding on which creative it is that is causing an inconsistency. Is it that this only works some days? Is it only that the other one works other days? There could be a balance. And in this case, it looks like I just found another one that's not stacked. So I'd go ahead and stack all these ads as well.
Okay.
30 comments and 1 share. Wait a second.
Wow.
Yeah. So you could have about 400 plus likes and stuff on some of these ads.
Yeah.
If they were combined. And the thing about it is, when people see activity happening in a business like yours, where we know that people love to comment and stuff in your group, which makes it super powerful, same thing can happen on your ads.
Yeah.
So I would go ahead and stack all these as well. I would find your absolute best one. I mean,
Okay.
could be this one. It might be another one. I mean, for all we know, there might be one sitting in here with a couple hundred likes. That one's near at 200.
Yeah.
And once you do that, stack them both so we can get an apples to apple. And that should level some inconsistencies, because it's like, hey, we have the same ads. What the hell's going on here? Why are some up? Why are some down? Once we level that playing field, then we have an equal playing point to start from.
Right.
And
yes.
let me just look at this one more. Yeah, so I mean, like, another thing is, whenever you told me that when the ads turned off, it seemed like these ones never recovered, that concerns me, because the moment that happens, the first thing that comes to mind is, okay, people haven't commented in 48 hours on any of these ads. People haven't liked, or how long was it off?
7 or 8 business days. So it's about like
Oh,
actual 8, 9 days
oh,
itself. Yeah.
oh, that's a lot longer. So 8 or 9 days of no comments, no likes of people seeing it. When somebody comes across one of these ad variations, they see that somebody commented, if 8 or 9, maybe 14, maybe 20 days ago, if nobody had commented in between the time it was running at the end. And they're like, not much action. Seems like an old ad. Not interested. Gone.
Yeah.
So you have this big period, because if this is reliant on relevant paid social proof coming through, which seems like a big deal, but it's, in your case, it would be. If you don't have like people commenting very recently, like 12 days ago, or if you don't have people saying like literally like 7 hours ago, 8 minutes ago, people are less inclined to move forward. It's kind of like that relevance factor where it's like everybody's interacting with it now, heat of the moment, and people want to do it, which is why you get those super low costs super soon.
Yep.
And which is also why you saw such good results during that first week, because it was launched, it was new, people are seeing it, people are commenting, interacting, all these different things are happening, people are moving forward.
Yeah.
Period goes silent, comes back online. It's like, do we want to do it? What's going on? Looks old. Even to people who haven't seen it before, it seems old because nobody's commented in weeks.
Right.
So that's the most obvious issue in this case. You got to stack each of these ads with those IDs. We have a training on that. And once they're stacked, make sure you stack them with the highest engagement count ad. Look for it, find out which one it is. This one said 175. I didn't even know that one was there. Could be higher. You have another one.
Yeah.
Then launch those. See what happens on the audience level. Give it 48 hours on both of those ads, and you should be good to go. And also make sure to do it on your warm traffic as well. These audiences, even with those other ads that you have. Right?
So basically, once I stack them all, I don't have to delete any ads out of there, right? I just change the ad ID like you just did.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Because then it's going to draw an apples to apples for each ad.
Yeah. Got it.
Then we can roll out the audience, right?
Yep. Okay.
Because from a data standpoint, you can't go to the audience level and blame the audience until you can say that, hey, it's apples to apples on all these ads. So now we can blame the audience.
Yeah.
But if we're working with totally different variables and nothing's constant, then you can't say anything about the audience set. So we got to first level this, then we can go to the ad set level and say, okay, hey, cut this, implement this. Then we can go to the campaign level and do that.
Got it. Just the last thing there with the dynamic. So I unintentionally created that dynamic ad. How would you go about recreating that sunrise ad to make sure it's not dynamic?
So to prevent an ad from being dynamic, the only thing you have to do is, let's just do an example. It doesn't matter which audience we deal. We'll just click one of these. We'll just take this one. And paste it. And then we'll just let's not do it that way, because I'm pretty positive it wouldn't do it, but at this point you can never be too sure. In this case, I don't want to, risk anything. I would go ahead and just create a new ad. Just create it new and just copy it. Just have it open in another tab like this, and just literally copy the words over. And then when it publishes, you just hit view charts, grab the ID out of the ad. This should not be here. You'll know it's not dynamic whenever that's gone. When it looks like this URL, it's the only ID you need. Is grab this one. That's when you know it's not dynamic. And then you just paste it into the ID. And then once you do that, you then can duplicate that ad specifically into all the other audiences. So that way you don't have to copy it every single time.
Okay, got it.
Yep, and that'll even the playing field on all the ads. And if the results take off from there, that's great.
Okay, got it. Okay, great. Just taking notes on all this so I know what to do after. Okay, great. I think that's it. So I'll go ahead and do that. And then you mentioned 48 hours like usual. So I'll look back at it maybe Thursday, Friday. And then I guess, should I make any changes or wait till Monday's group call, you think, to relook at it together?
After you do all that, yeah, Monday would make the most sense.
Okay.
Well, you can make changes between now and then, cutting and stuff like that, like as you normally would manage it.
Yep.
So feel free. You don't have to wait. You feel free to
Okay.
continue doing as you're doing, and we can just pick up where you are.
Excellent.
Awesome. All
All right.
right.
Cool. Well, it sounds good. Thanks again, Chase, and look forward to Monday call.
Yes. Likewise. All right. Bye, Scott.
All right. See you later, Chase.